What's up, everybody? Hope message finds everybody well. Welcome back to the Built for Pressure podcast with me, Will Foden, and a massive warm welcome to 2026. I've had a bit of a hiatus. I had 2 weeks off. I thought, you know what? I don't want anybody to be listening to my waffle over the Christmas period on the basis of you should have been connected with your family. But now the dust is settling. Everyone's got through their Q4 planning. And what I don't want to be doing on this episode is just giving you some motivational quotes or hype goal-setting frameworks. That the wholehearted truth is that's actually not going to help you long term. Now, the aim of 2026 for me is very, very simple, and that's actually help leaders become unbreakable in times of challenge, crisis, and chaos. And actually, if you're listening to this, there's a chance that you're already performing. You're already carrying responsibility, and actually, the level of load that you have on top of you when it comes down to your professional and your career is already huge. This episode is about giving you some understanding of what I'm doing to not only dominate 2026, but how to actually create staying power inside my performance and those that I work with. So this is probably one of the things that I think most people get wrong is in relation to their association with goal setting. Is this winners or win at all costs? I think so many high achieving individuals currently are like, right, okay, cool. There's sort of two camps. There's one of them which is a case of fucking hell, I'm not going to do exactly what I did last year. It didn't work, so now I don't know what I'm going to do. Or there's the high achiever that has burnt absolutely everything they've got in front of them to get where they've got to, and they're still on this. I need to be more disciplined. I need to be more resilient. I need to push myself, win at all costs mentality. Where I guarantee, if you associate you're going to win 2026 as your pinnacle of your success this year, you will lose. I don't say that very lightly, because winning at all costs is what actually already costs most people absolutely everything long term. Their energy, their clarity, their patience, their presence with their family, their body shape, their health, their general performance. I see it every single day where their heads are so noisy, their bodies are absolutely weak, soft, and look like a bag of shit. And actually, they're just compromised in general. They're not weak, they're just depleted. They've got nothing left. The full Ian Beale, when it comes down to it, is they've come out of the Christmas period either wishing they had more of a break or not really switching off. And now they're looking at staring at 2026 going, I have to send this into oblivion. But how about you? We're going to take some stuff that I've got from my process, and it's a couple of little reframes that I'm using, that I've used it throughout my sort of goal planning that I'm going to be taking in, that I know will guarantee me a different result. And this is not about doing more. This is about deciding the exact steps that I need to be more deliberate with that's actually going to move the needle. Most people who are making cash, pushing businesses, leading teams, they actually avoid that part of the game because it makes you feel good. Your ego wants you to take on more load. Your ego wants you to push more. Your ego wants you to be the workhorse, to be doing more shit. Well, actually, for me, a big part of my process that I've massively struggled with over years and years and years of being in the high performance space is being on my feet up. I either recalibrate, I assess my previous performance, or I step straight into the future and I look for the next thing. And actually, that's not the name of the game. What are the big rocks of your performance that you will not compromise? That's something that that has gone through my head for the last couple of weeks. There's things that I've literally just come off. I'm filming this. I've literally just come off the mountain where in the UK it's snowing right now, and it's the first time I've actually taken my boy sledging ever. And I said to myself, my ego was like, I don't need to go out with him because I've got work to do. We're actually wholeheartedly, I've been working since 6:30 this morning, and it was 12 o'clock. So the piece of this is, what am I not going to compromise? And for you, this is nothing to do with habits. It's not to do with tactics. It's standards. And the standards are presence, decisiveness, and actually having and leaning into challenge. I think something that I've missed physically this year, like in 2025, was not actually having a physical challenge. It was all around getting my health back in check and getting my body back working and performing and doing jiu-jitsu. Luckily enough, I got my purple belt. Next week, we've got a banging podcast that Adam Adshead, who's my coach, who has got an amazing view and philosophy around actually how to perform at elite level. You guys will love it. Actually, this year it's about committing to the challenge of actually, do you know what? Cool. I've just got a purple belt. Let's go and compete. And that's the challenge for me. So those are the three things that I'm taking in. Not talking about habits and I don't know what fucking systems you want and that kind of stuff. Actually being present where you are and being effective, being decisive in your action taking, your decision making, you actually getting after something, or actually or leading into conflict or whatever, and actually leaning into challenge with focus. Because actually, wholeheartedly, realistically, presence means that I am where my feet are. Decisiveness means I actually don't hesitate when it counts. And actually, challenge is where all growth lies. And if you feel like you're comfortable, you feel like you're stagnant, you feel like you're bored, you feel like you're quite unsure, it's because you're not stretching yourself. Most people are looking to attain peak performance is found in that gap, the void of the person you're currently not, who you need to become. And actually that's the difference, because your standards are what you sink to, not your goals. And if you're that again, I think there's been 1,000,001 fucking podcasts and workshops around how to set goals and all this kind of stuff, smart targets, whatever. Do you know what the best smart targets are? The ones that you take fucking action on repeatedly. Not new frameworks, not new anything. Trust yourself to make better decisions. Because most people are asking the wrong question. When it comes down to the identity piece of this, they're looking at the result they're asking for, and they're thinking about, okay, cool, what do I need to do to get that result? And they're forgetting who they are. But actually, the question you need to be doing here is actually, who do you need to become to sustain that level of result? Because you can't bolt on new behaviors to old operating systems. It doesn't work. We've got a professional impact operating OS, which we use inside our program, which is designed to actually build you in your performance before you do anything professional. It doesn't matter whether you're a CEO of $1 million company, or whether you're strapping a business for the first time, or you're an angel investor, or whoever you are. The fact of the matter is that if you are thinking that you have to to get the result, you have to do those actions, that's why you're going to be unfulfilled, bored, or you're going to struggle to maintain what you're doing in comparison to who you have to become. For me, being very open and honest, shout out to Tom Foxley. I've started working with him from a mental performance standpoint. He talks around mental fitness. He's at an elite level when it comes down to helping people like me who are wired for war and want to achieve everything, elevate the other side of my performance. Because inside my philosophy, my personal philosophy, the warrior side of me is willing to attack everything and fight and push and all that other stuff. But the other piece of me, the dad, the family, the lover, the whoever you want to call it, that part of me, the piece that needs to be present and be where my feet are and be happy, that's the bit that I'm working on. So that actually necessarily, you can't get, the result of happiness is bollocks, because it doesn't ever happen. The pursuit, being happy in the pursuit, that's where you find happiness. And that's where you actually maintain and evolve. And for me, I've always said, as a coach, having coaches in your corner, having people that can give you objective feedback, people that can look in on your process, means you're not missing something. Because the levels of the game that I'm playing at right now and the people I'm working with, you can't be fucking about making. If you make a mistake, it costs you, period. So having a support network is huge. I said this before, when it came down to sort of moving into 2026 as Built for Pressure, not just myself, but as the people that I will work alongside. I said what I want to use as a strap, a name. It's something that actually the year's meant to me. But actually, last year, the word that I'd have used was explore. Reconnect with the mission. We rebranded, we moved to Built for Pressure, because I believe that actually that was the bit from the Stay Strong Collective was an amazing, and I've still got incredible clients from there. But the next evolution of everybody inside that process is not only from a physical performance standpoint, but from a mental fortitude, clarity, direction, and energy management standpoint. The levels of the game are different now. Hence why for Built for Pressure. And actually, this year is about actually being more deliberate. More deliberate with my energy, more deliberate with my decisions, more deliberate with how I deal with personal and professional pressure, and more deliberate of actually who gets access to me. Because being a coach, other coaches who listen to this will know as well, they'll know exactly this. You have compulsive disorder when it comes down to helping your clients, but you're unwilling to help yourself. I will go to the ends of the earth to make sure people that I work with get the results that they can get, because I believe that that's one, they pay for the service, and two, the little piece inside of me that wants that level of impact on somebody. But actually, wholeheartedly, my energy matters. And now we're dealing with customers on an even more intricate level. People who get my attention deserve the best version of me. And that's something that I'll be taking and being way more deliberate with heading into 2026. Because actually being deliberate doesn't mean being brittle or rigid. It just means being way more intentional where you're placing your energy and your efforts. Not wasting time, not wasting movement, not wasting any form of energy on other people, and not actually being reactive when it comes down to leading yourself and leading other people. Because for me, Built for Pressure exists to build unbreakable leaders. And unbreakable doesn't mean aggressive or this resilient mentality bullshit. It doesn't mean anything alpha or any of that kind of thing. It means they're adaptable. In times of chaos, challenge, crisis, change, in times of conflict, people I work with, they don't just grind harder, push through, be asking for more haps, optimize absolutely everything. What it does is actually it is looking for is how do we maximize that level of performance? Because my piece is to Built for Pressure taxes in a different way. At the highest level, the stakes are at their highest. And what that takes is, if you are in the position where you are unable to shift the narrative, keep pushing through, not multiplying by zero, doing world-class basics, hold yourself to a higher standard, be an asset in times of challenge, that's the difference that makes the difference. Because actually what we want are people that are calm when others panic, clear when others get lost, and people that are directed instead of distracted when it comes down to their decision making, so that actually they have the one thing everybody on this platform would love is just control. Which you get, there's an oxymoron. I'm going to give you this one. It's control is actually a fallacy. You want capacity. You're never in control of anything. You can only take charge of a situation. But what you want is the feeling of control, and actually be able to lead yourself with conviction. So heading into 2026, what I want you to do is think about the moments that are going to matter this year. If you zoom right back to this time last year, you probably had the same conversation. Whether it was in boardrooms, whether it was with peers, whether it was with friends, whether it was with family, about you attaining goals. But realistically, me, for example, last year was the most productive I've ever been with the least amount of effort, and I'm not showing off there. It's because I asked and I got a lot of help. I got a lot of consulting from multiple different people to give myself the keys to my car back when it came down to how I operate and how I needed to push forward to help people that I work alongside. This year is way more deliberate on that, as mentioned. But wholeheartedly, 2026 doesn't just need a tougher version of you. It needs a more deliberate version of you. One that holds yourself to a higher standard regardless of what's happening in front of you. One that manages your state and manages your energy when you're under the pump. And actually, this is something that I had a customer of mine last year say this to me. And she said to me when she joined the program, she wants to just be a fucking savage. But actually what we want to do is when we are under the pump and we're under pressure, we're regulated and ready to fuck shit up. Excuse my French. So what I'd like you to do, I think I've said that already, but I'm going to say it again because I'm trying to do this live and I'm a bit rusty. I've had 2 weeks off. 2026 is not about winning. 2026 is a catapult for 2027. If you're in this game like I am for the long term, if this is who you are, then maybe it's a case of doing this a little bit differently. Because I believe goal setting doesn't work for 99% of people I work with. Because it's not life and human beings aren't KPIs on a spreadsheet, however much you like it. But what are you going to do to hold yourself to a minimum standard? How are you going to push yourself with your mind, body and your business whilst leading a team and being present at home? That is the difference that makes the difference. Right now, I will open my doors on Monday. I am closing my doors again for January on January 12th. The reason being is because, as mentioned, Built for Pressure is massively intricate and I want to make sure that I not only give everybody I already work with the most amount of attention, but new customers, people that come inside my world who want to push themselves across this year and beyond, they're going to get the best version of me to ultimately have everything they've asked for, and that's staying power of their performance. If you'd like to learn more, if you'd like to learn about how we operate, what the program looks like, or just want to have a quick jot down of a video, I'll put a video in the show notes of how Built for Pressure works. I'll check it out. But again, massively appreciate everybody that's already been part of this journey. This year for the podcast, it's a new evolution. I want to take the high performance, high stake, Built for Pressure piece of the puzzle to that next level. So if you could like this, Share it with amongst your people that you know, peers that are like-minded, and vice versa. If you have any questions, would like to learn more, or have any comments or feedback, I'd love to get to know you. Anyway, I digress. I'll catch you guys next week. Adam Adds Heads podcast, Factory BJJ. You'll know it's an absolute banger, so stay tuned. I'll catch you guys soon.